Good morning, respected chairpersons and distinguished scholars and participants. I'm Dr. Mulatiana Damasomatero, and I will present my paper titled Between Dharma and Nartha, Comparative Study of Ethical and Pragmatic Governance in Sanskrit Literature. So this paper comparatively examines the political and ethical dimensions of governance in two major Sanskrit texts, the Manusmriti and Arthasastra. The presentation mainly focuses on how these texts negotiate the relationship between moral order and political pragmatism. So I will continue. My presentation outlines are here. Firstly, I will briefly discuss the background and the research problem. Then I will explain the methodology and conceptual framework. And after that, I will examine governance in the Manusmriti and Arthasastra respectively. And finally, I will comparatively analyze both traditions and present the conclusion. So, when we are focusing on the introduction, Sanskrit literature preserves profound reflection on governance, ethics, political authority, and social order. Ancient Indian political thoughts did not treat that kingship merely as an administration institution. Instead, governance was understood as closely connected with morality, law, economy, and social stability. Within this intellectual tradition, two important concepts, which especially that dharma and artha can be recognized. So, dharma generally refers to righteousness, moral duty, and ethical order. While on the other hand, artha refers to material prosperity and political strategy and practical statecraft. The Manusmriti primarily emphasizes governance through dharma. It means that ethical and moral principles, while the Arthasastra present a more pragmatic and administrative approach to politics. However, this test should not should not be understood as complete opposite works. So my center argument is that classical Indian political thought attempts to balance ethical governance and political pragmatism rather than completely separating them. I will move to next slide. This is my research question, and the main question is that how do the manuscript and Arthasastra negotiate the relationship between uh, ethical governance and political pragmatism. This question is significant because these tests represent two influential but different models of governance in ancient Indian intellectual history. So the study therefore investigates how political authority is justified and how kinship is conceptualized and how governance is connected with morality and social stability. This is my methodology slide is mainly this study employs qualitative and comparative textual analysis. Primary sources which especially Manusmriti and Arthasastra are considered. and secondary scholarly studies uh, are also used for the support interpretations. And the analysis mainly focuses on concepts of kinship, political authority, and punishment of dand, moral responsibility, and administrative efficiency. So rather than studying the test independently, this research comparatively evaluates their philosophical and political assumptions. This is the conceptual framework of Dharma and Artha. Before discussing the test individually, it is important to uh, understand briefly the conceptual relationship between Dharma and Artha. In classical Indian thought, Dharma represents ethical order, righteousness, justice, and social harmony, while Artha represents material welfare, political power, economic stability, and statecraft. At first glance, these concepts may appear contradictory, but ancient Indian political philosophy generally treated them as interconnected dimensions of governance. So, a ruler was expected not only to preserve morality, but also to maintain political stability and material prosperity. Therefore, governance was understood as a continuous negotiation between ethical ideals and practical necessities. So, this conceptual tensions forms the foundation of my comparative analysis. So, having discussed this conceptual framework, I will move to the that governance in Manusmriti, how it's uh, explained that the Dharma and the study teaching. So here are the concepts explained in Manusmriti. It's basically conceptualized governance primarily through dharma. The king is not simply a political administrator; he is the protector of moral and social order. The political authority is therefore grounded in ethical responsibility. According to the test, especially you can see that society can function properly on when the ruler preserves dharma. It has mentioned here by the I have quoted the sloka. It is in seventh chapter. Tasyarte sarvabhutanam goptaram dharma matmajam Brahmamate Brahmatejoyam Danda Masud Jatpura Mishwara. For the protection of the king and all living beings, the Lord formally created punishment, the embodiment of law and a manifestation of Brahmana's glory. So, the concept of danda or punishment becomes extremely important according to the context. So punishment of is not merely as an instrument of use into political control. Instead, it is presented as a mechanism for preserving justice, discipline, and social stability. Also, this test argues that without Danda, society would collapse into disorder and chaos. Thus, Kinship in Manusmriti combines political authority with moral duty. So the ruler becomes a guardian of ethical order rather than simply simplify strategies seeking power. So, So this demonstrates that governance in the Manusmriti is deeply connected with religious and ethical principles. So you can see that how the kinship works as a moral duty, and his duty is in different in different subjects. So next I will discuss the teachings in Artha Shastra. These are the governance related to Arthashastra. In contrast to the ethical orientation of Manusmriti, the Arthashastra approaches governance from a more pragmatic perspective. So the test focuses heavily on administration, political strategy, diplomacy, taxation, and also military organization and economic management. Here, the ruler is primarily expected to ensure the stability and secure of the state, and political efficiency becomes a major concern here. So the Arthur Shastra therefore presents governance as a practical science of administration. However, it is important to note that the test does not completely reject these ethical considerations, what we discussed previously in Manusmriti. Even though the Arthashastra prioritizes Artha, it still recognizes the importance of social order and the welfare of subject. The concept of danda also appears here, but it is in a more strategic and administrative form. You can see discipline, state stability, protection of wealth and people. Punishment is used to these with these purposes. So therefore, while the Arthashastra foregrounds realism and political pragmatism, is still acknowledge the importance of control and responsible governance. So then I will move to the next part of my presentation. This is my comparative analysis and the main portion of the my research. Here you can see when these two tests are compared, it is important to see this similarity. We can see that there are similarities and differences uh, between these two tests, but most of the uh, uh, most of the main ideas are interconnected. So Manusmriti legitimized that governance through dharma and especially moral responsibility, and while the Arthashastra is legitimizes governance through administrative effectiveness and political strategy. In the Manusmriti, the king functioned primarily as a moral protector. In the Arthashastra, the ruler functions more as a strategist administrator. So, nevertheless, both texts share an important common objective, the preservation of order and stability. Neither test supports uncontrolled power or political chaos. So instead, both attempt to create a stable society through different intellectual framework. Therefore, these traditions should not be interpreted as completely opposite models. Rather, they represent two interconnected dimensions of ancient Indian political thought. The comparative analysis suggests that governance was understood as requiring both ethical legitimacy and practical efficiency according to these comparisons. These are the comparisons what we can see. And then I will conclude this study demonstrate that Sanskrit political thought presents governance not merely as an exercise of power, but as a continued negotiation between moral order and political necessity. The Manusmriti emphasizes ethical governance rooted in Dharma, while Arthasastra propounds pragmatic statecraft associated with Artha. However, both texts ultimately seek social stability and political order. Therefore, ancient Indian political philosophy does not completely separate ethics from pragmatism. Instead, governance emerges through the interaction and balance between these two principles. These are my conclusions. So I think uh, my presentations, my research paper uh, discuss these things in broadly. So thank you. Your questions and comments are welcome.